channel. Today's video is so that way too fast. Okay, let's slow down. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be us talking about the new Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. I did get the color light. It is $40 and I did order this palette myself and it came in within 2 days. I was like, okay, I'll take it. I didn't even pay for the 2 days shipping and bam, here it was in my mailbox. So I was like, well, I have to film a video on it. I'm pretty excited about the palette and I'm gonna demo it out and show you guys how I use it. So if you're interested in knowing more about this palette or how to use this palette, well then please just keep watching. This review kind of talk through of the palette. I'll put the time to the demo and how I use the palette stars over here. That way if you're just interested in knowing how to use your palette, you can just click on over to that time slot. So there are 3 different palettes. There's light, medium, and dark. They have 6 colors in them each, but some of the colors repeat themselves in the palette. There's not like a total of 18 different colors in the palette. Cinnamon, nude, cream, and then over here you have banana, vanilla, and cool pink. They are somewhat easy to come out. However, some of them stick and can be very difficult to get out. Like my nail scraped across one of the colors and I was like, bah! I went with the color light instead of medium because some of the deeper colors in medium I know that I can never use on myself. And I actually do use the darkest color though to contour my face in this palette. I mix these two together. This color is more of the color of like my foundation or my skin, and I do mix these two together to highlight my face, but I mostly use banana. The pink color for me is just way too light and it's pinky tone and my skin is more of a yellow tone, so I probably won't get too much use out of this pink color here. If you're looking to venture into cream contouring, I definitely recommend this palette because the colors in it are very, I'm about to drop it, are very simple. It's a simplified palette in my personal opinion. You don't have like 50 different colors and you're just like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to use. You have 6 colors. It's pretty simple. The banana color is my favorite because a lot of cream contour palettes don't put a yellow cream color in it. They just put like a light cream color in it, and then rather than it matching to your skin and bringing out your features, it just makes them white, and I really don't like that look. I think that the banana color is really makes it more natural for people that have olivey skin tones. And if you're kind of fair and ivory or you have like that pink undertone in your skin, I think this actual pink cream color would be beautiful on your skin. I did post a picture of the palette on Instagram and I was like, what do you guys think? And surprisingly, I got a lot of negative feedback, not towards me, but just towards the palette and people's opinion on them coming out with cream contour palettes. And I was just like, whoa, I was really surprised. But there were a lot of comments where people were very excited about it coming out. But a lot of people were like, why are they coming out with all this stuff? They should stick to eyebrows. I don't like the shades. They're way too warm toned. I will say all the colors are very warm toned, and sometimes I like a nice cool tone color to contour my face with, and I don't know, they just have really warm undertones in these. So that's something I'm a little about, but it does blend out really nice on the face. The colors are super, super, super creamy. And at first when putting my brush into it, I was like, great, this is gonna take me forever to blend out because they have a thick consistency to them and they are very pigmented. So once, of course, I covered my face in it, I was like, a year later, I'll have this blended out because the main key in contouring and highlighting your face is your blending skills. Surprisingly, it blended out so easy. I was just like amazed by it. I really was, because what you feel something very thick like a cream concealer, and I will say I do have dry skin, but I do moisturize my skin before I apply my makeup, and I did find that the under eye area was very dry looking and a bit cracky, which I was a little bit upset about. It was a little bit dry. I do have a setting powder over it, so it looks a little bit better than it did, but all this up in here was very creasy and you could see through the actual banana color. You could see my skin through it, so it didn't really provide much coverage up in this area. But as I blended it out on my skin, I mean, it did do a little bit better, but I don't know, I wasn't really happy with the creasing and just kind of splotchiness of it. So if I did have something to complain about with this palette, it would be it's creamy, but it didn't cover very well with the dark circle area, and it did crease up, and I didn't like that about it because it does blend out out really easily, but at the same time I find that it is a little bit dry. It was very weird because I didn't think it was going to be that way, because whenever you touch it, it just feels so thick and creamy. You're like, this is going to be the thickest coverage, you know, but a lot of times coming with a lot of thick coverage too, you do get your creasing because it's just so much makeup, but it really doesn't feel very heavy on the skin by any means, and I do love that about the palette. A lot of people ask me, does this work well with dry skin or oily skin? I think this is going to be a better palette for someone with, I mean, I have dry skin and it did gather around my dry patches a little bit. That's why I normally use like a liquid concealer to highlight and contour my face when using creams, just because they don't tend to stick to dry areas, whereas I found that this one did a little bit. But whenever you get into these cream palettes, they all kind of tend to do that. Well, as far as with me, they tend to do. If you have oily skin, I think it's going to be beautiful on your skin. It is lightweight on your skin, which will be good too with oily skin, but you definitely need to set it, and you need to take a setting powder wherever you go with you, because whenever you apply foundation and then this much more of makeup on top of your foundation, it can build up and get really cakey. Greasy. But also, I think this palette, because it only has 6 colors in it, I think it simplifies the process of contouring and highlighting. So if you're a beginner in it, I do recommend the palette to you. This palette is made for pro artists. This to be a pro palette, to be a makeup artist, you would have to buy all 3, because all your clients aren't going to be with the shades light or the shades medium or the shades deep. They're going to be a mixture of each. I think that's also a downside in the palette as far as for pro, and they don't have the individual refills, so you could create your own palette for sale yet. So that's another downfall. I don't understand why the colors come out whenever you can't buy the refills yet. I think that should have already launched whenever buying the palette, or if it is a pro product, I think you should be able to buy all 3 palettes in a bundle for a better deal. Or, because I just know whenever I used to do makeup, like just me thinking as a makeup artist, like that would be more ideal. Or just have it where you could create your own one palette, something like that, because buying all 3 individual palettes is not ideal for a pro makeup artist. No. That is my review on this palette. I like it. I recommend it. I think it's good. It has pros and cons. Everything does. So, but I think it's worth $40. I definitely will be using it in the future. I'm really excited to play around with it a little bit more because I love cream contouring and highlighting. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you got something out of it. We're going to switch on over and we're going to cream contour and highlight our face, and I'll show you how I use this bad boy. To start, I go in with a synthetic brush, creating triangular shapes underneath my eyes, because the light hits down on your face in a triangular shape instead of a rounded shape, so this is going to make a more natural effect. I use banana and just a touch of vanilla to lighten up the yellow color a little bit, and then I'm using a synthetic brush. I also take the color down the nose to give the appearance of a perfectly straight nose, and I'm going to highlight a whole lot on my forehead because I have a small forehead and I like to make it look just a little bit bigger than what it is. If you have a big forehead, don't go as high up as I'm going with your highlight. Next, I'm going to highlight the chin. This is going to make everything match in unison, and I'm also going to highlight the cupid's bow to give the illusion of a bigger upper lip. Then I'm going to go in with cinnamon and a touch of nude, and I'm going to streak this right down my cheekbones. I'm also going to hit the temple area and bring it up all around the forehead. At this part, you would bring down your contour darker color a little bit more if you want your forehead to look smaller. I'm going to connect this in a C shape, and then we'll blend it all out, and it'll look really good, I promise. I know it looks crazy right now. This little brush from Sigma is beautiful. It's like the mini 3D kabuki to do the nose. This is going to give us the appearance of that straight, perfect nose. I am taking cinnamon right down the sides of my nose, connecting it on the tip of my nose. Then I'm going to give the illusion of a perfect rounded chin by contouring my chin, and I add a little bit of highlight right underneath to enhance the contour. And I also do my brow bone area just to give us a lift to make it look like our eyebrows and the eyelids set a little bit higher than what they actually do. And this is what I end up looking like before we blend it out. Now going in with my damp beauty blender, you can even spritz this with the MAC Fix Plus Spray. I'm going to start dabbing this out. I'm not doing swiping motions, I'm just doing dabbing motions because you don't want to move the color around because we place them in very strategic areas and we don't want to move it around much. We just want to soften it and blend it out. As you can see, this stuff blends out crazy easily. It's just so easy to blend out. I love that about this palette, and that's why I say it's so good for beginners. This is the 3D Kabuki brush from Sigma, and the way I blend out the cheeks is I work the color upward. That 3D shape just fits perfectly in the cheekbone. You're able to blend upward, and then I blend up and down on the forehead. This is going to take the little bitty 3D Kabuki. I'm going to blend out the nose, bringing it up into my brows, and then I go back in with my beauty blender and I'm touching up the highlight just where we covered it up a little bit. This is our final look. I just think the face has structure. It's just not all one unison color. It looks more natural. I like the way it turned out in the end, and I did set this with the Laura Mercier setting powder. That is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the little demo and me chatting about this palette. Be sure to check this down bar for all my social media, so you can tweet me, you can Instagram me, you can Facebook me, you can even Snapchat me if you want to. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and viewing this video. I will see you all in my next video. Bye!